Welcome to Women Disrupting, a podcast amplifying the voice of women who are disrupting the status quo to create a more equitable, united, and peaceful world. In today's episode, I speak with Sarah Hulme. Sarah is proud mother of 3 and founder of the Ladies Empowerment Circle. Her goal has always been to empower women, create a safe community for those in business, or for those thinking of starting a new chapter in their life, or for those who want to spend a couple of hours as part of an inspiring group of like-minded individuals. She is a positive networking disruptor, challenging the status quo in the world of networking. The Ladies Empowerment Circle has flourished since 2023. And in this episode, Sarah busts some myths about networking for women. She talks about how she has created a networking space for women that is underpinned by abundance, collaboration, community, and connection. Sarah, welcome to Women Disrupting, the podcast. This episode I'm incredibly excited about. Are you?
I'm absolutely excited, and thank you so much for inviting me.
Oh, it's a pleasure. I think for me, I've seen the Ladies Empowerment Circle grow since its inception. Correct me if I'm wrong, was it 2023 you started?
Yes, it was March 2023.
Yeah, so I came to the first meeting and then I've been coming to some since, and just watching it grow has been so inspiring. I was like, I need Sarah to share what she's doing with the world a bit more because it is just amazing. So thank you.
Oh, thank you.
So for anyone who doesn't know, tell us what the Ladies Empowerment Circle is.
So basically, the Ladies Empowerment Circle is a safe community of ladies to network, but as well as network, support each other. So for me, I've networked all my life at various networking events, both male and female groups, and I always thought there was something missing. And what I say by that, Yasmin, is you had to be in business to be able to go to a networking group. And I wanted to kind of disrupt the space in a number of different ways, really. But one of them being, if somebody wanted to come along, like I was probably about 18 months ago, that was in a bit of a crossroads, I'm mid-50s, at a bit of a crossroads, thinking, it's got to be a bit more to life than this from a career standpoint. And I was very menopausal at the time, going through the menopause, lacked quite a bit of confidence. And I wanted to create a space that was inclusive for all women, whether you had a business, whether you had a bit of a side hustle, whether you were thinking of a career change, thinking of going into business, or just like me, feeling that you want to be in a room of inspiring women that would lift you up. And that's where the Ladies Empowerment Circle was born.
That's amazing. And it links to actually one of the facts or myths I've got coming up later, but we can cover it now because you touched on it. And it was this idea that you don't have to have a business or run a business to go to the circle. You just you just have to have that desire and want, I guess, to collaborate and be around other inspiring women.
Absolutely. And to be honest, probably a good 70% of people do have a business or a part-time business alongside a career. But we have ladies that come that are looking for something, looking for a career change or looking for a next step in the life, next chapter in the life, or just want to be in a room and listen to what everybody's talking about and what they're doing and just feel inspired. So that's why I thought it was so important to keep it inclusive rather than just say, no, I'm sorry you can't come because you're not in business, which is what's out there with other networking groups.
Yeah, definitely. And with the rise of remote working since COVID, sometimes the workplace can feel quite lonely for us if we're sat in front of a computer. So it's an opportunity if you do work from home and you feel quite lonely, just to get out for a few hours and be around people.
That's it. And to be honest, that's one of the major feedbacks that I get off the ladies that come to the group, whether they're in business or they're not. They say, are working 4 walls at home. And yes, they come because they want to obviously get business. We all want to earn an income, but for a lot of them, that's kind of secondary. Primarily, they actually want to spend 2 hours out of the day just being in a room full of amazing ladies, finding out about them and what they do. And yeah, if they do business and get business out of it, then absolutely that's a bonus as well. So yeah, it's so important just to get ladies out and collaborating with each other.
Yeah, definitely. And it seems to be working because, and don't be modest about this, Sarah, it started with one small meeting in Bolton once a month. I think it was the first Thursday, was it, of every month?
That's right. That's
Now
right.
it's expanded exponentially. Just tell us now how many meetings you're going. Give us some like facts about how much it's
So
grown.
yeah, Yasmin, you're right. I mean, it started off really as a bit of a passion. I had this vision for this community that I wanted to create, not really initially thinking about it as a proper business as such. It was like, oh yeah, I've got this idea, I want to run with it. And literally I started with one meeting. And for me, I'm all about supporting local. So all the venues that I now have, and we started with one a month that was based in Bolton at Retreat Restaurant in Bolton. We now currently have 7 meetings. I run 5 of them, and I have 2 ambassadors now, and that was another thing that's come out of it, is an ambassador program. So there's 7 meetings a month in various parts of the Northwest that you can go to, and we've just recently launched some evening ones as well. So they kind of mixed up on different days, different times of the day. Some are mornings, some are daytime. But obviously now, as the group's grown and expanded, there's that call for evening meetings as well. So that's what we're just launching, nighttime meetings as well. So it's exciting. So with the nighttime one, that takes us to 9 meetings, which is just brilliant.
It's testament to your leadership as well, because now what you're doing is you're not doing everything. You're finding the talent within the group and you're letting them run with it, which is empowering in itself. And I don't know if you've noticed this, but I want your comments on it. I've noticed a difference in the ladies since the start of the group, because I remember on the first group or so, when you were inviting people to speak or to offer in public their services, there was a bit of hesitation. People weren't confident. And when I went to a recent one, I noticed that you did it again, and everyone was sort of, hands up in the air. You were overwhelmed with people wanting to offer. And that just, for me, showed that the confidence had grown. Have you noticed that?
Absolutely. And I think you're so right. I think we've all grown together. We've all been on this journey together. And I'm the type of person that I very much believe your vibe attracts your tribe. And the ladies that come to the group are all kind of just like me, that, they want to help people. I want to, first and foremost, help other ladies increase the confidence, get the message out there, whatever the reason may be that they're coming in, it's all about them. And I think very much the Ladies Empowerment Circle is getting feedback off the ladies of actually what you want. It's not, I'm setting the agenda. It's like, right, what do you want out of the group? And seeing the ladies' confidence, honestly, so inspires me. Of when they initially came, some of them were quite like a bit like rabbit in the headlights. And I always said, my experience of networking hasn't been great. And I'm relatively a confident person, but I'd walk into a room and it's like all heads would look at you. You were the newbie in the room. It was really intimidating. And I didn't want that from my group. I wanted to welcome ladies, whether they were brand new and never been to a group before, whether you go to every single group that I do, or whether you dip in and dip out like every 6 months. It doesn't matter. You will all be welcomed exactly the same. And I think that's important to make ladies feel at ease, because it is daunting. Networking is daunting. But I wanted to kind of disrupt that and say, well, do you know what? It doesn't have to be daunting. It's friendly, it's inspiring, it's a wonderful community where everybody will welcome you.
Yeah. And that's why it's so popular, because I had the same perception. I'm sure some of the other ladies did, that networking was created by men for men, and it was a load of people in suits, and it was standing in a room, was feeling really awkward. But as soon as I walk into the ladies empowerment circle, I feel seen. Like you come over and you give me a big hug, and when you're doing your talk, there's little things about people that you know,
Yeah,
and you notice a small detail, and you really feel seen.
yeah,
So you
absolutely.
do a wonderful job of that. And I wonder whether we go into some of the myths and facts around networking, because you've already alluded to some now. So if I share with you a series of statements,
Yes.
you can say whether they are a fact or myth in the ladies empowerment networking circle. So the first
Okay.
one, is that okay?
Absolutely.
The first one is there can only be one trade in a network marketing group. Fact or myth?
Absolutely, ladies empowerment circle, a complete myth, because we have multiple ladies in multiple industries all doing the same thing. And I come from a place, Yasmin, of abundance rather than scarcity. We're not in competition with each other, we're there to support each other. And you all might do something similar, but you all have your lane or your particular way of doing things. And what I find, what I've most definitely found in the group is if you've got a few ladies that all do the same thing, they'll go and support each other. They'll all go to each other's classes, or they'll go to each other's salons and have a beauty treatment or whatever. And that's what it's all about. So definitely a myth.
Oh, I love that one. I love that we can see it as collaboration, because it happens in some networking groups, doesn't it? If you've
Yeah,
got one yoga teacher, sorry, there's not only space for another, but why can't we see that more as an opportunity for growth and
definitely.
collaboration? That's a great one. Okay, the second one, you have to commit to 12-month contracts that are costly and unaffordable for the average person.
And again, I think this is another reason why I feel I'm a bit of a disruptor in this space. It's an absolute myth. Yes, there are groups out there that do that, and that is absolutely fine. But where I wanted to create something that was completely affordable, that was pay as you go, that you weren't committed. I understand people have businesses to run, or they've got lives, and it's not always possible for them to be there every month. And I like the fact that they can just dip in and dip out whenever they want. I have ladies that come to every single group because they leave saying, "Do you know what, Sarah? I feel when I leave your group, I can conquer the world. I need to come for these 2 hours just to really fill my cup up." But then likewise, Yasmin, I have people that might only be able to come every 6 months, and they're apologising when they come. And I said, please don't ever apologise. I'm so welcoming of everybody, and I appreciate everybody's time. We've all got businesses to run, for those of us that have got businesses, and it's not always possible. So it's an absolute myth.
Yeah, and that flexibility makes it even more appealing, doesn't it? And it's affordable. It's £5, isn't it, per session?
£5.
I mean, that's just a bargain, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, definitely.
Okay, number 3, you have regular KPIs to meet. So you've got
To be honest, yeah, that's a myth as well, because obviously we have ladies that come to the group for completely different reasons. So yes, we have people that want to come and obviously get business, improve the business. I'll give you an example. We have an accountant that comes to the group, and she's fabulous. She's so supportive of everybody's group. Her key focus is getting out of 4 walls. That's her primary reason for getting out of 4 walls. And she said, I love just listening to what everybody else does. And she counted that so far she'd used 26 other businesses in the group. But as a result of that, as a default of that, she's ended up with 17 new clients, new accountancy clients. Now, she wasn't coming for that reason, but it's absolutely as a default, she's got it anyway. She came to give herself that, that her time, that 2 hours to herself. So yeah, absolutely, it's a myth.
Yeah, and that freedom leads, like you said, to abundance, because I think if everyone felt like they were being tracked and monitored for referrals,
Yeah,
it would just take away, I guess, the informal, relaxed nature of the group.
definitely. And I find if you're being tracked, or if you're being tracked on what business you're getting, or you're being tracked on how many referrals you bring in, then it's like you're running a second business and you're coming to networking to grow your business and obviously collaborate. I felt with some networking, you've got another job to do for them by, tracking how many referrals you're getting for them. And that's not what it's all about.
I love it. Love it. Next one, and we've touched on this one already, but maybe you could just put people at ease. Networking is intimidating and scary.
And I agree, it is, because I've had that experience. But I think, like I said, Yasmin, your vibe attracts your tribe. And I think you have to find the group that suits you. And I have been to every type of networking group there is. And I knew what I wanted and what I didn't want to create. And it's funny, actually, one of the ladies that comes to the group is a financial advisor. And she made us all giggle a few months ago because she networks quite a lot and in some corporate situations. And she referred to it as, I'm in a room full of pale, stale males. And it's not that we're all anti-men, but it's really intimidating and corporate. As a woman, it can be really intimidating just walking into a room that's a mixed group that's got men there to start with. But no, absolutely. Ladies Empowerment Circle is the complete opposite of that. And that's what I wanted to achieve.
And it's inclusive for all different personality types, which links to my next one, because people think that you have to be an extrovert to be a networker. So the next one I want you to kind of challenge is you have to be sociable and an extrovert to be good at networking.
No, absolutely not. That's a myth from the Ladies Empowerment Circle point of view, because I'm always very open. I've had ladies attend the group that actually don't want to speak. They just want to listen to what everybody else has got to say, and that is totally fine. I want to make them feel at ease. We've had quite a lot of ladies that come to the group that are extremely introvert, extremely shy, and not really knowing what they're letting themselves in for. If you don't want to speak, you don't have to. You have people that just come along and listen. So absolutely not. But on the flip side to that, it's lovely for me seeing those introvert, quite shy ladies kind of 6 months, 12 months down the line, completely changed, complete grown, completely so much more confident. And it's wonderful because they're surrounded with a community of people. I always say networking is turning strangers into friends, friends into family or community. And as they've attended the groups, it's lovely seeing them grow, and they've turned strangers into friends, and they relax and feel comfortable. And that's what it's about. And it does take time, but it's achievable.
Yeah, definitely. And I think the way you format them helps that. I wonder whether we take an opportunity now, Sarah, for you just to talk about the slightly different formats of the meeting so people know that if they were to attend a Ladies Empowerment Circle meeting, what to expect.
Yeah. So, Ladies Empowerment Circle meeting, as I said, it's £5 to attend and it's 2 hours. We always pick local restaurants, local venues. So we're giving something back locally rather than a huge corporate space like a hotel or a meeting venue, just so it feels more welcoming. So when you arrive, all we ask is you support the venue and maybe buy a cup of tea or a coffee. Some ladies eat, some ladies might have lunch, some ladies don't. There is absolutely, that's optional. But literally, when you've grabbed your tea or your coffee, you come down and I literally let you sit wherever you want to. Sit wherever you want to. And obviously, when ladies come each month, they might move about so they're not all sat in the same place with the same people. And we kind of create that semicircle. And the meeting is really split into 2 halves. The first half is you telling us about you. So it might be you've got something that you want to share with us personally. It might be that you've got a business and you've got an offer on, or you might be looking for something specific. And we generally, depending on numbers, I'm quite flexible on this. If we've got a busy group, we kind of keep it to about 60 seconds. So you've got a minute to share something with us. If we've got a smaller group, a more intimate group, I'll let you speak for longer if you want to. And I think that's the great thing about the Ladies Empowerment Circle is I always say dip in and dip out of different meetings. Don't always go to the same one because you'll have one that's really busy, like the Bolton groups tend to be really busy. But then I've got other groups where the numbers are slightly less and more intimate. And I always say to the ladies, try them and see which you like. And the ladies, one of the main feedbacks that I get is, do you know what? I love going to different groups, Sarah, because there's not only is the different people there, but some are a bit more busier and some are more intimate that you get a chance to speak more. So that's the first half. Then obviously you have a break, grab another coffee if you want to, chit chat amongst yourselves and the people that you've met. And then we have a speaker sponsor. So every month we have somebody that sponsors the group, and it can be anything, any type of business they're in or inspirational speaker that shares something with us. So it might be they sharing something about the business, but you know what? It might be a really inspiring story. And we've had some where people have been in tears because of the journey that the speaker's been on, and they've shared it with us. And you think, oh my goodness, it really is quite humbling. So you leave feeling inspired. When the speaker's finished, you've got a chance to obviously get to know each other, stay and open network at the end, have chit chats, swap your business cards if you've got a business card or a leaflet, and just leave feeling inspired. So that's the general theme of all the groups. That if you want to speak, you can. If you just want to listen and not speak, you absolutely can do that as well.
Oh, thank you for sharing that. I think that's probably given people who have never networked before a bit of an insight as to what to expect.
And I must admit, Yasmin, I would say looking at the ladies that come to the group, easily 75% of those ladies, before they started coming, had never networked, had no clue what networking was, didn't know what you did when you went to a networking group. Yes, I've got ladies, obviously, that network at multiple different groups, and that's brilliant. But I would say 75% had never networked before. They didn't even know what it was. So it's been, they've loved it. They've built this real great community.
I wonder, obviously, I'm going to put all your links and details on the show notes. If anyone's in the local area, in the Northwest,
yes,
predominantly that's where the Ladies Empowerment Circle runs. But who knows, one day you might take over the world and we might have, not just in this country, but in maybe different countries. Wow, that would be amazing. However, if anyone's listening and they're like, I don't live in the area, so it's not viable for me to get to these, but I'd quite like to set something up in my area, a bit like you did in 2023. What would the best piece of advice be that you could give someone like that?
Well, it's interesting you should say that, Yasmin, to be honest, because I run groups, obviously, 9 groups now covering the Northwest. We have ladies that travel from areas that we don't have a group that still travel, because I always say, please don't look at it as a geographical area, because you can do business with those people regardless of where they live. And that's one of the reasons why we set up the ambassador program, because I wanted to offer ladies the opportunity to essentially have a franchise of their own in an area that they had a good network in, that would want to run a ladies empowerment circle in their area. And that's the reason the next step for me was the ambassador program. And we've got 2 ambassadors so far. One that covers Blackburn area and one that covers Bury area. And obviously we're looking at a 3rd one currently. So yeah, absolutely. There's an ambassador program. If somebody wants the Ladies Empowerment Circle format, obviously if somebody wants to set their own networking group, my advice would be just put your personality into the group. That's key.
But actually, what I'm hearing, and I should have realised, is if someone is in an area that hasn't got one and wanted to do it as part of what you're doing, they could be an ambassador.
Absolutely. So basically, you buy a franchise of a specific area. I help you, I support you, I train you, you get all your marketing done through me. And obviously, I help you grow the group, and you're giving the Ladies Empowerment Circle to an area that you live in, that you've got a network, and just spread the word. And that's what it's all about. For me, my goal was start in the Northwest, but eventually take it UK wide, so that there's a Ladies Empowerment Circle in every area, but giving ladies that are either in business or thinking about going into business the opportunity to create their own group, but knowing everything's done for them, because obviously everything's in place. I was like kind of making mistakes as I was going along and thinking, right, I'll do it this way. And well, all that's been eliminated now. So yeah, it's all done for you.
Yeah. Aim worldwide, Sarah.
Yeah.
Every continent. I think a network that I'm part of and that I work closely with called Women Ed, who support women leaders in education, started on Twitter, just tweeting about women's barriers to entering leadership roles. They started, like you, small in the UK, and now they've got networks in every continent bar one.
Oh, that's incredible.
It's
Incredible.
isn't it? When women come together, just like women coming together, sharing stories, following very similar principles to what you've created, collaboration,
Yeah,
those kind of things, connection, community.
definitely. Oh, it's so inspiring, and absolutely, why not? Definitely.
So before we finish, I guess I'm just going to invite you to share, I guess, the biggest life lesson that you've learned as you've set up this Ladies Empowerment Circle, but it might also feed into what you did pre-Ladies Empowerment Circle, something that our listeners can take away as well.
For me, in life, but definitely in the Ladies Empowerment Circle, it's giving back. It's helping others, putting others before yourself. And that is one thing I'm hugely passionate about. If you help enough people by default, that kind of helps you. But I'm just all about raising ladies' confidence, lifting them up, helping them. And by default, that's grown to the group, the initial one group that I started with has now grown and grown. And don't get me wrong, Yasmin, I'm nowhere near where I want to be. But by helping enough people, I get such a buzz when I see ladies that have started off in business or a bit of a side hustle or a part-time business, and they're absolutely smashing it out of the park. And for me, that's the greatest joy that I could ever have. And I think in life, if you help enough people and be genuine about it and give value without any thought to yourself first, then absolutely you'll succeed.
Yeah, that seems to be like a natural law, doesn't it? Doesn't it? Like you learn, oh, actually, if I give without wanting, it will just naturally come back to you. You've got to trust that process. And we've seen
Definitely. Yeah,
that in action,
absolutely.
the way that the Ladies Empowerment Circle has grown exponentially since 2023. So on that note, thank you so much for being a guest. Where can people, if they're interested, reach out? And where's the best place to find you? And
best place, probably, obviously, myself personally, Sarah Hulme on Facebook. Ladies Empowerment Circle is on Instagram. But the best place, really, we have a Facebook group, but it's a private Facebook group. The best place to find all the information, all the booking links is on our website, which is www.ladiesempowermentcircle.co.uk.
Brilliant. And I'll put that in the show notes so people can just click on it and get directly sort of linked there. Amazing. Thank you so much, Sarah.
Thank you so much for inviting me, Yasmin.
You're very welcome. Thank you for listening to this podcast episode. I'm always looking for disruptive women as guests. If you think you'd make a great guest or know anyone who would, then please email me with the details. You can email info@yasminarifcoaching.com. More details in today's show notes. Remember to show up and share your truth, because the world is hungry for women who show up and tell the truth, unafraid and free, expanding to the very edges of who they were always meant to be.